like we said, the Blues have been so hot lately. Binner's been unbelievable since Four Nations. They have that Stanley Cup pedigree and that experience. They are a team, if they sneak in and get a wild card, I could see them winning a round or two in the playoffs. Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast. I am your host, Dan Powers. His spine is so crooked that if you walk behind him, it looks like he might tip over. Chris Powers.
As always.
And a very special guest in studio in Los Angeles, the third Empty Netter, Jonny Laz, joins us for the first time in the new studio. I think maybe ever.
Ever, yeah.
Wow.
I don't need to do as always, do I? Because
No,
it's not as
it's not as always,
Okay.
but it's very special.
That's the first time.
Yeah. Dude, how was your West Coast trip?
It's been great so far. You guys were kind enough to have me in the suite last night, which was awesome. Got to see the Kings spank the Boston Bruins.
Absolutely wax the Bruins.
14 goals in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Crazy. Pretty nuts.
Not bad.
Vegas, I missed you guys, but
Yep, that's true.
First Vegas bachelor party for me, so it was
Good
a
bucket list?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Come on.
Yeah,
Great time. Had a great time.
If you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, Laz rollerbladed here, and he's currently wearing them right now.
Yeah, you can.
Which is
Hold that up again.
fantastic.
Hold that up again. They can definitely see it. Yeah, that's really
There it is, dude. He's got the blades on. You'll absolutely love to see it. You just mentioned Vegas. We got to touch on Vegas.
Yes, we do.
And how rinsed we got.
Dude, it was, if everyone following along, we bet the dogs because the boys were there betting the dogs on March Madness. And Dan, you know what? I think in hindsight we should have seen coming, because I read an article that was like, the least amount of underdogs won in March Madness in like 60 years.
Chalked.
Yeah, it was just like the most chalk.
Just chalk.
bracket ever. So the hockey games didn't start till 4. So as the boys were just getting pummeled by chalk all day.
We should have abandoned the dogs.
Like,
we should have.
Yeah, like,
Were they doing money line or points?
they were doing, great question.
The boys?
Yeah.
No,
I
money line.
think
They were just
money
taking
line.
dogs,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
So I was like, dude, we should have been like, oh, it's chalk weekend.
Yeah.
Flipped it and then made fools of them. But instead, we were the fools, and we killed.
You also can't eat chalk.
You can't eat chalk.
You guys were eating dogs.
We were eating dogs, dude.
Dude, what a development when I got to T-Mobile and there was all you can eat dogs at the party deck.
Yeah, we're gonna. That was huge. That was a big moment.
Stayed the whole night.
Well, we're gonna get into food in a little bit, but I want to say I feel like recently in my life I've cut dogs out of my diet because being a little health boy, and I've now had hot dogs more recently because Montreal's a big hot dog place, and then we were doing dogs. Hot dogs are fantastic.
Amazing.
Dude,
You get the right toppings on them. They're just they're delightful.
yeah. Rarely am I sports betting on so many things at once, right? Like, you'll ride like the momentum of a game that you have something on, but it was crazy having such a big board here. And I just wanted to point out this one stretch. The Avs game was first. We had the Sens, and the Avs went up 1,000-0.
Four goals in 8 minutes.
So I was like, that game's over. And then the Flames were dogs against the Devils, and the Leafs were actually dogs against the Rangers.
Yep.
So those were the next two games on, and the Rangers were up and the Devils were up, and I was like, wow, this is such a nightmare. And then it's getting close to Vegas Bruins puck drop time, and I need to start walking to T-Mobile. And in that walk, the Flames are down 3-2, tie it, and then go up 4-3.
Yeah.
The Leafs go up against the Rags, and then the Flyers, who were down 3-1 against the Capitals, made it 3-2. And the Blue Jackets took the Panthers to OT, and the Canadians came down from 3-1 to tie it at 3. And I was like, oh, dude, this is the best moment of my life.
back.
Like, every time I
We're
was
so back.
posting a story every 10 seconds because it was like everything good was happening. And then it was like the Flyers didn't tie it. The Panthers scored immediately in overtime. The Islanders scored in overtime. Oh, and the Canucks also tied to force OT. And then the Blues scored. And I was like, the swing, the like 2-minute swing of like,
It was dude, we were so dead. Then we came back to life, and then we died again.
dude, if you count the ties as wins in your mind because they've tied it. So I'm like, boom, that's a win. That's a win. And then they're just all still losses. And you're like,
Fucking horrible, dude. And
I will say, sorry.
No, go.
I would say that's the worst part of sports betting, I think, in general. It's like when you think you have the win in the bag and you start like, oh, I'll get like a nice dinner. Like you start thinking about the things you can do with the extra cash.
Dude.
And then all your plans are ruined.
oh,
It's awful. And the one we posted about this, and I still can't even believe it. I didn't even look at this, dude, until the next morning. We bet all these dogs. And I don't know if you've seen this. whenever there's more than, I say 8, it's usually 10.
Okay.
Whenever we got a mini frenzy day,
Yeah,
I'm always big on do the mega parlay. But just do money line on every game.
Knowing it never hits.
Yes, right. Literally, light $10 on fire.
Dude.
Yeah.
What's the Peter Griffin? It's like, what is it? Like, I'd like to give $20. What do you want to put it on, syrup? Doesn't matter.
You keep it. I'm going to lose it. Dude.
I paraphrase that, but it's like the funniest thing ever.
Then that's how it is. I cook up a mega parlay amidst all the dogs.
Yeah.
Dude, I wake up the next morning. This bet was like plus 22. Let me get the exact. Plus 232,338. Put $10, stand to win almost 24 grand.
Okay. Thank you for not making us guess.
Yeah.
Dude, I went 12 for 14, and the 2 games I missed, Habs OT loss to the Islanders, Stars shootout loss to the Bolts. And I was like,
Stars were dogs in that game?
dude, no, this was just a mega parlay.
Take whatever you want. Yeah.
And when I woke up and saw that dude, first of all, just quick stick taps, getting 12 of 14 is insane.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's now made me be like, whenever we do the mega parlay, I'm like, it'll never hit. And now I'm like, maybe it will, though,
Yeah.
dude.
But it won't.
Maybe it will, but it probably won't.
It won't.
But, dude,
But if it does.
the 2 losses, like if one of the losses was, I bet the Sens, and they got shit pumped, I'd be like, whatever. But the fact that I lost because of those 2, I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Dude, it's fucked though because we were just joking how chalky it was.
Yeah.
Because in those mega parlays, you end up taking a lot of chalk because you're just being like, they'll win.
Yeah.
And this was like historically chalky, and that's why we were close. It just won't. It'll never be this historically
Just a
chalky
disaster.
again. It was fucked, dude.
What the mega parlays, though, I think the biggest thing is just like making it out of the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Like at least like give yourself
Dude.
a chance. Like if you lose it's just first game. That's the worst.
Yeah,
way you
It's
can go.
losing
Like,
your
For sure.
it's losing your March Madness champion in the first weekend,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay,
I just want to like
this
be in the
blows.
fight.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. What happened on the craps table?
Dude, we get to the craps table, and I got pummeled at roulette and blackjack. And sometimes you get hot.
What are you
those
doing
games.
playing roulette, dude?
Well, we were just doing the let's just double it real quick.
So immature.
You know? And Seltzer goes, so this is classic Seltzer. He goes, I'm gonna just double my money and put 100 on red. And I go, okay, boom, 100 on red, green. And I'm like, just go home, dude. Literally change your flight, move home.
Awful. Absolutely
You could not
awful.
get greened at the start of Vegas night.
Jesus.
So I get killed at roulette, killed at blackjack, and I'm like, all right, dude, we got to go. And this is fucked. This is what I forgot. If you gamble at the win on a Saturday, the table, the low table minimums are high. So you're like, okay,
like
$100 a hand, stuff like that. So you're like at the win on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But you go somewhere else, gambling at Park MGM or MGM Grand where they put us up a lot. I can on a weeknight, $25 everywhere. So it's a Thursday, and I'm at MGM Grand because we were gonna go meet Robbie at Hakkasan. So I go. MGM Grand on a Thursday we're laughing, but I just forgot it was fucking Christmas morning in Vegas. So every fucking table was 100 minimum, and there was one $50 table which was packed because everybody's there. So I was like, dude, we can't even play craps because we've already lost so much money, and now the stakes are too high. But we were just, it's Vegas, dude. So you're like, fuck it, we're in it, let's go. And dude, I just want to say for those craps people, and I'll tell you guys a story. Craps is a big energy game, and I love.
I've actually never played.
We'll go next time.
I just see it in the movies.
Yeah.
It takes, it's complicated.
Yep.
There's a YouTube tutorial necessity before playing craps for sure.
So I like being, shocker, I like being an energy guy at the craps table.
The biggest energy guy I know.
But sometimes people just aren't in it, like the table's just down. So I show up with Loop and we start playing. And the first guy I try to hype up a little bit. I'm like, oh, I like this guy. I like his hat. I like your hat. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like immediately craps out. And like table's kind of looking at me because I just got here. And I'm like, we good. Yeah. Second guy, I like hype up a little bit, immediate crap out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. This is me. Now it's on me. So dude,
crap out means
you roll 7. Every money on the table is gone. Boom. Okay. We all lose. So the third guy shows up, and I'm kind of like, I'm out of money because I just got popped 2 more times. This is my last shot, and it's this really old dude who has like gray hair, gray goatee, a bright, deep purple button down that's unbuttoned pretty far with like necklace pendants hanging.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'm like, this guy could be a shooter. and this could change everything. So, dude, he rolls his first roll, and it's like, whatever roll you get first, it kind of like puts a marker on that number, and then you're trying to hit that again.
Okay.
8 and 6 is good because they're more common. So like he rolls an 8, and I'm like, but I don't want to get too hyped again. So I'm like, good roll. Puts it on the 8. And then he starts throwing some money on some exotic bets, and he bets a bunch of money on that he's going to, on this very roll, he's going to roll a pair of 2s. Okay. And he just, second roll at the table, and he goes, pair of 2s. And dude, it hits, and I don't know what to do because like, are we cheering? Like, did I fuck this up? And it hits, and everyone is dead silent for like a literal full 1.5 seconds.
Okay.
And then the old guy, dude,
The purple shirt guy?
the purple guy goes like this. And dude, he bent his body, like his head almost touched the ground. And I was like, yes, dude. And then,
Thank God.
Dude, and then he went on like a 20-minute roll heater. We made all our money back, and then so, as this guy was just absolutely firing.
Wow.
But dude, when he double fist pump,
Yeah, he went full
Scorpion.
scorpion.
Can you give me the 1.5? I want to actually feel what.
Yeah.
dude, yeah. Hold on, let's pull out a timer here, and like all eyes are on the table, you know. So it's like, and pair of 2s.
Yeah, that's a decent delay.
That's a
decent
pregnant
delay.
pause. That's a pregnant
decent
pause.
delay. Yeah.
Like everyone's like, "What is
Yeah.
about to happen?"
Just ripped
Man,
it
was it
off.
high pitched?
Dan, yeah, and he like
Nice.
his vocal cords have seen a lot, you know. And
Yeah.
he was, dude, drinks, or he was getting the
Wow.
cocktail servant coming, dude. It was what a session he put on, dude.
It's fantastic.
And this is what time?
This was like 12:30 in the morning, you know. Like we were about to go to the club, and I was like, oh, we're just gonna like let's play a little bit, just a little bit, and then you know then we got stuck there for a while with homeboy, dude.
That's
but
how it
it
goes.
was fucking sick.
That's why there's no clocks there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
Pump oxygen into the building,
Vegas rinsed us all, as it does.
as always.
But we still had a great time. Before we move on, we were at the Kings game, as Johnny said.
Yep.
Had a nice time in the suite. Had some food up there. You, CP, wanted to quickly touch on Dream Stadium food. And then I have something that I'd like to propose to the two of you because I was thinking about it big time last night while we were eating. Okay.
And the reason I wanted to propose it is because in that suite area, I can't remember if I walked through with you two because I went the other way with the rest of the group, but there's like in the middle of the suite area, there's like a big spread of like nice food, but it's almost like too nice. They're like, oh, would you like a piece of prime rib? And I'm like, do I? Maybe. I'm not sure. And sometimes, and like in the other, they make those sandwiches, you know, like they make like that turkey sandwich at that one station. And I feel like half the time I'm complaining that the stadium food is too lowbrow. I'm like, God, I wish there was nicer food. And then when a stadium gives me nice food, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I don't deserve this.
Yeah. So I was like, what do I want? What would make me happy? And I don't know that I have the answer. What's your guys' dream stadium food?
To me, I think it's a balance of, I mean, obviously you want it to be quality, but obviously a piece of prime rib is great.
Yeah.
But if you're not in a suite
I was
with a
just gonna
table,
say,
cutting shit is a
outrageous.
nightmare. I'm also, dude, I'm even going to go out on a limb and say, I don't even like dipping stuff. So nachos, tenders, stuff like that. It's too much going on. I think a nice sandwich, just something that is in your hands. You need hand food. Mm-hmm. And something that's also not going to get messy as fuck. I always think is a absolute home run.
I'm kind of with you on nachos. Tenders feels good.
No, I don't hate it. I'm just
nachos
saying
I'm
it's
not
like
on board
you need to have like a tray where your dipping thing is in. It's just all messy. But when I go and I get a fucking burger or a crispy chicken sandwich or a North Shore beef and it's wrapped in a parchment paper and I'm not getting messy and I'm just like, I have this sandwich and I'm eating it, that is a perfect stadium food for me.
Yeah.
So I will say we're talking like stadium seating, right?
Yeah.
Pressing it that way.
Let's act as if we're sitting in the bowl.
yeah.
You're in the mix. You can't be elbowing too much. There's people next to you. What are you eating?
So I'm gonna kind of rebuttal what you said here,
Yeah.
but it's like a mix of what you said.
Okay.
Because the best thing to me in the National Hockey League is the MSG prime rib sandwich.
Okay. Yeah.
Like $25 prime rib sandwich,
Worth it, though.
Caramelized onions,
Yep.
cheese, au jus on the side.
Oh,
it's literally got everything.
Is that too messy though, dude? Is the dip on the
It
side?
can
That's
be.
scary.
It's in like a cup though.
Okay. Yep.
But
Okay.
like if I'm sitting, like
But I now
have
need
it
a
in the press
tray.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A tray.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I'm sitting with who knows,
Yeah.
God knows who's next to me.
Yeah.
Christ, dude.
And you're like dipping.
Yeah,
That's
it's
dangerous,
tough.
dude.
It's tough, but it's
Delicious.
Again, if you've
Delicious.
had it,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of the best stadium
You had
foods
said
I've
this
had.
before. Where did we have that insane sandwich that you like met the guy? You were like speaking to the owner
That was that was in San Jose, dude.
That was San Jose.
That was at
right.
SAP.
Yeah, wow.
That was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my
What was
damn
that
life,
again?
dude. It was a prime. No, it was a prime rib sandwich.
That was prime rib?
It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I love it.
That guy is the man. Too.
Legend.
Yeah.
Also, I think there's nothing like you were talking about hot dogs. Like,
Okay,
hot that's the perfect
transition.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect transition. We were eating tenders last night.
Yeah, we were.
And I said to both of you, I think, I was like, you never get too old for a tender. And it got my gears turning. What are childish foods that you still love?
Oh, because, still love. I thought you were gonna give me a hard time about. Like,
well, I mean, I will give you a hard time because there's a lot of options here. This is what I want to talk about. So, grilled cheese to me is like that's a childish food, but I've upgraded my grilled cheese. Like you've seen me make a grilled cheese.
It's because of anyone but you.
Yeah.
Because he cooked Sydney Sweeney the grilled cheese. Ever since I saw that movie, I was like, wow,
The fact that you just referenced that piece of shit movie
But
and
that
acted
was
like
a
there's
grilled cheese
anything.
resurgence.
Yeah.
No, the grilled cheese resurgence came from Chef. No fucking doubt
Favreau?
about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Favreau.
Makes the sexiest looking grilled cheese of all time, and that made everyone start making grilled cheeses.
I don't think enough people.
It's not old. What are you talking about, dude?
Anyone but you or Chef. The viewership is way higher on anyone but you.
I guarantee if someone goes, which movie makes you want to make a grilled cheese more, or which grilled cheese moment stands out to you more, Chef will win that vote. We'll put it on the
said
internet.
anyone but you.
Yeah, but you
we have one.
but
data
you
point. We have one
have
data
the
point.
movie palette of a child, dude. Like you
That
just
was the question.
we're mixing
Childhood.
We're mixing references now. I'm saying I've upgraded my grilled cheese. Like I buy a bunch of really nice cheeses, and it's like a fancy situation. So that wouldn't count for me. Whereas tenders, dude, I am like, dude, you give me a fucking basket of tenders and some honey mustard or some ranch or some barbecue, and I'm like, this is just great. And that is one for me where I'm like, I don't give a shit how fancy you are, how rich you are, how old you are. Chicken tenders always hit.
I have an answer.
Go.
Okay, go.
And it's not necessarily mine. I forgot that I like this.
Yep.
A girl actually recently said this. Dan, you've heard about her.
I've heard about her.
Her favorite, I guess, like, what's it? Like guilty pleasure?
Yeah, we can call it that.
What kind of meal? What is it saying?
Comfort food.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
Pasta with butter.
Oh, buttered noodles.
Yes, buttered noodles.
Nice.
I was like, are you 12?
Yeah.
That is
actually fucking
great
crazy.
answer,
Yeah,
dude.
stop talking to her right now.
Yeah.
no, I think it actually makes her more wholesome.
Buttered noodle. I mean, shout out Abed Nadir, dude.
Yeah,
Community.
yeah.
Like
Buttered
buttered
noodle
noodles is very simple.
Yeah,
That is
She
a
said
good.
dream food. Mom makes me butter noodles.
Dude.
That was definitely her sick at home meal too. Like when she was sick, she
that's
was
what we're
like,
talking
"Yeah,
about.
she's like, I don't give a shit." We're like, "Yeah, just give me some buttered noodles. I feel better." That's a good one.
I'm going to say, in this one, I don't have very much. And it's similar to the grilled cheese in that there's fancier versions now that I do also like and have probably more often.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, that was money if I get the chance to have it, is like mac and cheese, like boxed mac and cheese.
Yeah,
like,
Kraft
I'm
mac
like,
and
dude,
cheese.
What's Easy
bang.
Mac? Easy
Yeah,
Mac.
yeah.
Easy
Like
Mac
someone
is the
make me an
best.
Easy Mac.
They make
bowl
them in
with
those
Easy
little
Mac.
cups now.
That was my
too.
after school snack.
Bro,
Yeah,
and I'm
Easy
like,
Mac.
done. That's amazing. Like, at no point am I like, oh, I wish there was crumbled breadcrumbs on this and I had a nice Gruyere. I'm like, no, dude, boom. Pour
Bro,
the powder
I'm
on it,
just
whatever
like
the fuck
picturing
that shit
you
is.
coming home from school and just like, give me a bowl of Easy Mac.
Easy Mac, Yodel's, mini muffins.
That fuck.
Yeah, I was. Why do you think I didn't make it like well in hockey?
Yodel's gas, dude.
Yodel's were gas.
Yeah.
That is
And we used to
wild.
freeze them too, like a frozen yodel.
You know what's funny to me
Shit.
too?
I've never done that. That's fucked up.
Wait, can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
You know what? So every day in 11th grade, my best friend Henry always makes fun of me for this. I showed up to high school, my first period, with a frozen Go-Gurt.
The one that I think that I judge people on still is PB&J.
Yeah.
And it's the judgment is more from like is that satisfying? Like, is that satiating you?
I think it's more
peanut
time
butter.
efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
Like I
think,
pack one for like a game when
Sure.
I'm going to a game because like I know I'm gonna be hungry to hold me over.
And you just have a
It's
quick
still
PB&J.
good, by the way. Like, it's not, you must agree that it's good.
I actually don't. And maybe I never loved PB&Js that much. I actually don't think it is. When I eat a PB&J, I'm like, what am I eating?
I love it every time.
It's delicious.
Uncrustables?
Peanut butter is one of the best.
Peanut
things
butter
I've
is
ever
incredible.
eaten.
I don't eat peanut butter enough anymore, and I just don't eat a lot of foods that peanut butter goes on. But
You can go on anything. Here's the thing, dude. Watch this. Boom. Take a food you like, put peanut butter on it. Now there's a food.
okay,
that peanut
chicken
butter goes
parm.
on. Boom, peanut butter.
no,
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I wouldn't do that.
It's absolutely insane. I do throw it on a banana every now and then.
Banana,
That's
Yeah,
nice.
apples. You
that's-
dip an apple in peanut butter. That's always
Dude,
good.
well, maybe one of the weirdest things about me, I do not like apples at all. I don't know why.
But you're like a healthy guy.
I don't like them.
I feel like I'm not gonna like knock you for that. I'm
Yeah.
not passionate about apples.
I'm just gonna die on the apple.
But anyway, but
Strawberries, that'd be nuts.
I think it's that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting discussion. What are childish foods? What childish foods do we like? But I think we nailed. You guys named some.
those are
great-
good. Those
Well,
are good.
is there like an ick even like if you're on a date with somebody and they order like are you like okay that's where I'll be like
You know what? I don't have a problem with this, but milk bothers people. If you're out to dinner and you're not like having drinks. Oh, dude, I've had a couple of buddies who are like, again, it's not having drinks.
Yeah.
It's like if you're just like getting a quick bite, someone will be like, "Can I get a glass of milk?" And
never
I'm
seen
like,
that
I'm like, yo,
Yeah, that
what
is-
are you doing? Are you a growing boy?
Call the
Like,
police.
What are you doing? Someone ordering a glass of milk at dinner is that's a nasty work type of move. Let's get into hot ice. Let's talk about some hockey. We're doing it every episode these days, but it's because
choice.
it's because it is so electric. We have to do a wild card check-in, and one team comes to mind in a big way. The Calgary Flames, dude, are big back.
Dude, truly. So like in the East, which we can get to in a second, but our last ep we talked a lot about Ottawa and Montreal. It's kind of still that. Rags are lurking, obviously. Islanders lurking. Blue Jackets, I'm almost willing to call dead now. I feel
No,
like last week we were like
Blue Jackets. I'm not willing to call dead because Monahan and Goody are back. And that said, I think they have 13 games left. They need to win 10. They literally need to go 10-3 in their next.
the
13.
Islanders tonight too. That's a
Yes,
big one.
I think it's must win.
Yeah.
I mean, they have. Remember looking last week? They have a horrible schedule.
Yes, I think tonight against the Islanders. So by the time you guys are listening to this, that the result will be out. I think it is a must-win game. If the Blue Jackets lose to the Islanders tonight, they are out of playoffs.
Yep. But so we want to talk about the West a bit. The
Yeah.
Flames and the Blues. Flames have won 3 straight. Blues have won 6 straight. The Blues, you brought this up. The Blues schedule, the 6 wins in a row they have. Wild, which isn't a bad. That's a big
Yeah.
easy
Yeah,
one. Wild, Ducks, Preds, Canucks OT, huge win. Hawks, Preds.
Yeah.
So it's 6, but it's not like holy shit, we're world beaters.
they're
but
hot.
it's 6. But it's
Yeah.
6.
Yeah,
A good move.
but it's hot.
Moment.
It's good momentum, and then also, I mean, how many examples do we have? Like, look at Detroit. It's like you go on runs like that. You have to win those games. They won those games, so it's that's good.
And they don't have a ton.
They got Colorado twice. I know. I saw.
Colorado twice.
Dagger.
They got the Jets and Oilers late. But everything else is like games, and it's like a tough one. Habs a tough game, but but it's games you feel like you could have if you're in the mixer here. So it's a pretty forgiving schedule down the stretch. I remember when we did the full schedule breakdown, I had them pretty high on the easy line. Dude, it feels like only one of them can get in, and I don't even want to rule out Vancouver. By the way,
What about Utah? They're like so kind of there.
Vancouver's
right?
yeah, they're both there.
Are they
Utah's-
6 points back?
Yeah, but good games, dude. And like Utah is just behind Vancouver. So like they're both in the mix, you know. But it can really only be one of these two, it feels like. Does either one of you guys do you guys think either team
Drops out.
yeah.
Between St. Louis and Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Utah.
Oh, okay, you want them both to drop out.
I want Utah in there.
I would love Utah in there, and you know it's funny. Some of the loyal Utah fans on Twitter were getting loud at us this past week, being like, "Talk about Utah more," and I'm like, "We talk about everyone. Shut the fuck up." Like, I love you guys, but shut up. I would love Utah to make it. I think that fan base, that state, packing a barn for a playoff game would be so fucking awesome.
Didn't they also just announce like they're gonna stream for like $1?
Yeah.
Oh,
something
really?
like
I didn't see that.
One
That's
dollar.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
It's like
That's cool.
the Smith Group, dude. They know how to
get
please
it.
fans.
Yeah.
They get it. I love it. I agree. I think it would be awesome to see them in. I've never felt more connections to 3 random teams in my life. With Utah, obviously, just everything you just said. Brand new. Love what the Smith Group's doing. Love Durs. Want them to get in. I think that would just be so fun. Flames, I love Weeks. I love everything that he said. I love everything about that fan base. I think it would mean the world to them to get in.
Dustin Wolf.
Dustin
Yeah,
Wolf,
fuck, great
unbelievable season. Like not getting enough love in the Calder conversation, and he should. The Blues, the absolute grave dancing that it would be for Jim Montgomery to take this team from the slums and bring them into playoffs while the Bruins slowly but securely burst into flames would be such an elite story. So
should have said that 10 minutes ago.
It is. I mean, he knows it. It's just like, to me, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I there's a case for all three of those teams, but it is funny. Like, Vancouver's just sitting right there in the mix, and we're all just like, yeah, get out of here.
Well, I don't know if anyone's rooting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we're all kind of like, whatever, dude. Like, we don't want you in there.
It bums me out that, because last year I was so excited for them because I felt like they never lived up to their potential. So last year it was so fun to be like, dude, you always had this in you. And I expected going into this year to feel the same. And even, dude, like the win they had last night with Quinn, or the OT win they had with Quinn, sorry, the game they tied and then lost. But like that last second, they scored with 4 fucking seconds left. Quinn dancing in the neutral zone. Besser fucking
He's so good.
hammer. Fuck, the boys go crazy. Like, that is what I want to be rooting for. But the teams you just mentioned, I want so much more than Vancouver that I'm like, never mind, dude.
There's just like a cohesiveness about the other three that like Vancouver, obviously they have the exciting players. Like, who wouldn't want to watch Quinn Hughes play in the playoffs? But like, I look at the other three teams and I'm like, maybe they could make it a series. Like Vancouver, I'm just like, nothing about them just makes me excited to root for them. Right now.
It's I said Calgary a while ago.
And I hate it, but I agree.
I said Calgary when we first talked about this a while ago. I said Calgary would be my pick just because of the city, and they would be so great for them. And you, before we started recording, you were like, I think I had them 8th, and I think so did I.
And St. Louis, I think.
Yeah, so it's like, it's cool that they've that they've rewritten that story.
I think we all get a pass too a little bit with the coaching change. Like that was a nice bump that we didn't think was going to happen.
But yeah, it's the Blues are looking at the schedule and the way they're playing. You said Holloway, we mentioned Kairos. We had him in the starting 6 last Wednesday, like going off. Those guys just feel like, that I'm like, oh, it's almost.
Four Nations was such a boost for him, dude.
Yep.
I mean, he's probably been one of the hottest goalies. Like, I think Vasilevsky's been really hot too. I don't have like the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure like those guys have been.
Four Nations completely turned around Binner's season. Dude, and you know what's interesting too, dude, is we talk about all the time after the top 3 in the playoff race, it's like the goal diff drops off like crazy.
For the West?
And in both, it's like if you look at it in the West, goal diff, Vegas, LA, Edmonton, plus 47, plus 26, plus 26. Minnesota, the first wildcard team, -1.
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg plus 76, plus 52, Dallas plus 35.
Washington's plus 76.
It's crazy. It just dropped. The wild card, they drop off significantly. St. Louis is plus 10.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing.
You don't see that often.
Very good hockey. And it goes to Utah is -9 compared to Vancouver and Calgary's -17, -21 respectively. So it's like Utah is in the mix, dude. It's like they're
the 2 games in hand too. I think they have.
6 points back of St. Louis with 2 games in hand. That's super interesting. Like, that could all of a sudden that's 2 points back, and we got a battle. So we with these teams.
Let me look at the Flames schedule real quick.
With these teams, it's a very interesting, like, fuck me. Every game matters. We talk about it all the time, but this, for the last 3 weeks now, the wild card races have been so entertaining. Everything changes every 2 days. New teams are all of a sudden in the mix. Going to the East, the Islanders being in is so. I'm like, what are you doing in here?
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay, so between the East wild card race, let's use. I guess we can use like Montreal and Ottawa in it, and like we'll go down to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
I think we're all kind of Detroit out. Right?
Yes, Detroit is, which is funny because they are 1 point behind Columbus, but we're like,
just
vibes. Yeah, it's vibes wise.
And then you look at the West, and we got who? We got St. Louis, Calgary, Vancouver, Utah. We'll say those 4.
Yeah.
You got to pick one team that can actually have a chance to win a round. Which of those?
To win a round?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about this.
Which of those 7 are you like most confident in picking? Like, think about the opponent too. Like, you're probably picking Washington or Winnipeg.
Ottawa.
Ottawa could beat Washington?
I don't think they could beat Washington, but I think Ottawa could beat Toronto.
Well, I think Washington is locked into 1, right?
Well, yeah, but Ottawa's looking like they're going to get the #1 wild card, so they wouldn't play them.
True.
They'd play the Atlantic.
And I'm saying if Toronto pops up over Florida, that is a nightmare round 1 for Toronto. Absolute nightmare. I don't think they can beat Florida. But to what you were just saying, over on the West, if St. Louis is playing Winnipeg, Maybe.
You think so?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Everything that's gone wrong for Winnipeg. I mentioned to you the other day, you said I should say it on the pod. I'm not saying this, but people would be within their rights to say that Winnipeg is the Carolina of the West.
I love that take.
Unbelievable regular season team, and things just don't really go well in the playoffs.
To the point that I'm like, miss me with any we're going to do it this year talks until you get there.
My one gripe with that, what's Carolina like always a question mark in?
Goaltending, and Winnipeg's the exact opposite. Like,
no, it's
actually,
not in the playoffs.
So that's where I see it.
Yeah.
But like Carolina, I feel like it's always like, oh, I don't know if they'll get the save. I guess you don't know if they'll get the save.
That's
in the
what I'm
playoffs,
saying.
But like they have the guy.
It shouldn't be that.
Like, they have the guy.
You should get the save.
Like, that's the one like area of their game where they should be the most confident in. Where like Carolina, it's the one where they like are not.
Yeah.
But I guess when it comes to
dude, how is it not Vancouver for you guys? Just in terms of if Vancouver sneaks in the last wild card spot, or even if they got the first and they play the Jets, but like if Vancouver sneaks in the last wild card spot and will be as healthy as they've been, I could see them clipping Vegas or something where you're
really?
like, yeah. I mean, I don't think any of them I would be picking to beat any of those top teams, but I'm like, Vancouver has the firepower to be like, oh fuck, we got Vancouver in the first round. And I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun conversation because I feel like every team is so different.
Yes, holy shit, dude.
But like, I don't. I'll tell you the teams I don't think would win.
Yeah,
go for it.
I don't think the Islanders would win around.
Nope.
I actually don't even like the Rangers. Biasly, I think Igor can just get so hot that who knows.
It's fair.
No, I think that team just I think Igor could get hot, but I think it would be a similar case to the Florida series last year where it's like he's doing everything he can and they just still can't get wins for him. I don't think they can win a series.
I might give like Utah the best chance.
You love Utah.
I love Utah.
You love Utah.
I do.
To me, it's just, based on the matchup with how well St. Louis is playing and how hot Binner is, I think that they could win a series. I gotta admit it. And you feel the same way with Calgary and Wolf.
Yeah. I just think team speed wise, I look at Utah and I think they are like the fastest team of those.
Yeah, and I like that take.
And I think that's why I look at them and I'm like, maybe they could
scary. Yeah.
Maybe they could do it.
I like it. Taking a break to talk to you guys about an awesome promotion with BetMGM, and it's the second chance promotion that happens every single Wednesday. So if you bet on a first goal scorer in the game, and they don't score first, that stinks because you go, I bet them to score first, they didn't, and now I have lost my bet. But maybe you haven't, because if they score second, you get your stake back in cash. It's incredible. And when you sign up for the BetMGM app, use promo code NETTERS, that's NETTERS, and you can receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. So you can be losing bets left and right and still getting dapped up by BetMGM if you use that promo code NETTERS when you sign up. You do not want to miss out on that, so I recommend you go take advantage right now. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY from New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 from Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Okay. I would love to talk about the Sheldon Keefe interview and the Kovacevic comments because that was fucking wild. For the people that didn't see it, Kovacevic gets asked after the game. There's the Sens game that they lost, and he's like, "We're in a fight. We just got to get in that. Every game is 10 games off. We got to get in that playoff mentality." Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. And then then Keefe comes out. Keefe's frustrated. The reporter comes up to Keefe and says, Kovacevic just said that we need to get in a playoff mentality, as if we're not, or something. Yeah. And then Keefe goes, well, Kovacevic should just fucking play better.
Dude, he interrupts him, too. Yeah. He goes, Kovacevic just needs to play better. That's it.
I'm like... Dude, holy shit, dude.
I feel like this is like, if I'm Kovacevic, this is the 50 Cent video where he's like, what the fuck he said fuck 50 for?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what do I do? Like, if I were Kovacevic, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Relax.
Thoughts, dude.
First of all, the way you describe it, all I am like visioning in my head right now is the scene in Kicking and Screaming. The ref said, then my dad said, and the ref said, any more questions?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. But listen, I think Colby and I touched on it this morning. Like, I've been in those rooms where you're repeating what the player said to the coach.
Yeah.
And you do paraphrase.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Should you do that? Probably not, because things can get taken out of translation like this one just did.
Yeah.
But for Keefe to snap the way he did. Like, I think Kovacevic comes out actually looking like the best one here.
Agreed. No doubt about it.
And then the reporter, like, could have phrased it in a better way. Like, he did phrase it, like, pretty negatively. But then Keefe doesn't have to just, like...
What's funny about this is it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Kovacevic and Keefe are fine.
I think Devils fans loved it, by the way.
Yeah.
That, like, Keefe was, like, willing to do that.
That's what's interesting. I don't think the reporter did anything that bad. There was a little bit of paraphrasing, but it's like he didn't say anything absurd. It's
no, it just
more
changed
or less
like the tone of it.
Sure,
yeah, like
but
it made it seem like he was like, we're not in a playoff mindset, even though he was just saying.
But at the same time, if Keefe didn't respond like that, no one would be talking about this interview.
Agreed.
No one would be like this. That reporter said that very strangely. It was a nothing. So I think the reporter's fine. Obviously, Kovacevic is fine. And then Keefe, it's a bit of a snap, but I like that Devils fans like it.
Yeah.
I like that people are like, Keefe is being like, I'm pissed. And it all goes into this poor Devils team for a time looked like that they might be heading to the Stanley Cup final. And now Jack is out for the year and they're toast. And everyone knows it. And they don't want to say it. And they're losing games they shouldn't lose. They're going to make playoffs and they're probably going to lose in the first or second round. And it just sucks. I know that Keefe is feeling that. So
do you think there's something to, because Kovacevic is he has a career high in points, career high in plus minus. He was the second rated player in that game. So it was just such an insane ricochet to take. But
I literally just played my best.
He's like, I had a great game. I'm having the best season of my life, and I had a great game.
And admittedly, Keefe once, probably more than once, Toronto fans will dig more shit up than I can remember. But one time, I remember Keefe made a comment that was like, the difference between us and the Coyotes is that we have elite players and they don't, but our players didn't play elite tonight. He kind of like took a shot at his boys.
That?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
But then walked it back immediately and was like, I shouldn't have said that, whatever.
Because that's like Coyotes catching a stray.
Yes. So he's like, he has it in him, obviously. We all do. But for the most part, the narrative on Keefe has been, he's a player's coach. He let the inmates run the asylum in Toronto. That's why he got ran out of there. That's why the Leafs needed Berube to be someone to be tough on him. So I don't know if Keefe's like took that firing to be like, I gotta be tougher, but this is just so not Keefe to me that I'm like, bro, that was insane. Like to do that in front of a mic.
It wasn't insane. That's what I keep trying to come back to. He didn't say anything that bad. It was surprising. It was weird. It was like, oh, Jesus, why are you going at him? But it wasn't insane.
I could see how like Sheldon Keefe could take that personally though. It's like, the coach doesn't have us dialed in. Like maybe that's how it was phrased.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair. I still think maybe I'm just in the Belichick school, but I'm like, bro, it's just behind closed doors. Go fucking say whatever you want to him. I love hard coaching behind closed doors, just not to the fucking media.
Yeah, I think Keefe took it as, again, that was a frustrating loss.
Yep.
I think Keefe was frustrated. I think he's frustrated overall. He is not in a great mood in that moment. And then he hears a question that makes it sound like one of his players is being like, this team isn't fired up right now. And he's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he said, fuck you to Kovacevic, which was, again, I don't think crazy, but I think it was just
shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
It's just
surprising.
Shocking character.
It's a weird move.
Like of all people, it's Jonathan Kovacevic.
I know.
Like, give him a break.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a team that's hot right now. We've touched on it a few times. We were at the game last night. Kings are hot right now. Their home record is great.
Let me tell it to you, dude, because this is actually awesome. I'm going to read you some really good ones. Caps 24-7-6 at home. Jets 25-6-4. Vegas 27-7-3. Canes 27-7-1. Kings 25-3-4.
Whoa.
3 fucking regulation losses at home all year.
Wow. Huge.
Outrageous.
Which is a great stat to go into.
That is a great stat.
Yep.
Great stat, and it's a great stat to go into our talking point here. But first I want to say, we kept talking about the Kings. What do they need? They're second right now in the Pacific. They're actually very close to Vegas. They might be able to get that 1 seed, which would be huge for them. Again, we will touch on that. Coming up to the deadline, Kings were losing a couple frustrating games. So many of them were like 1-0 losses. And everyone was talking, what do the Kings need? They need scoring. We know, and we heard that Marchand was almost traded to the Kings. That would have been a nice scoring boost when he gets healthy. I said so many times, the scoring on this Kings roster is there. They're just not scoring. And I know that sounds stupid, but there are other teams that have rosters where like we actually don't have scorers.
Yeah.
The Kings do. And you look at the last 8 to 10 games, Morsy's scoring a lot more.
Yep.
QB is scoring a lot more. He's got a 9-game, I think, home point streak right now.
Tied Luke Robitaille longest in Kings franchise history.
For players under, I believe, 23.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which, but still, good record to have, or good thing to have. All those guys are scoring, and then they make that really smart, safe, cost-effective move of getting Kuzi, who now has goals in back-to-back games. 14 goals in 24 hours, like you said. This team is in a great run. And it looks like they can chase down Vegas and get first in the Pacific, which would mean they would have home ice. And if they could stay in that second place, they would have home ice against Edmonton, even if they don't get first. How impossibly important, especially if they play Edmonton, is home ice for this Kings team?
Laz?
How far back are they? 5 points back of Vegas?
I believe
think so.
One game in hand?
Yeah,
5 points
game
back?
in hand and 5 points back.
Has Edmonton had home ice in every series prior? Yes, right?
I think so.
I believe yes.
They have.
I believe yes. They definitely did last year, and I'm pretty certain the year before.
Also, I mean, you guys watch more Kings hockey than I do, but watching them last night, and maybe this is just, again, I don't stay up late to watch the Kings when I'm watching West Coast hockey. I stay up to watch the Avs, the Oilers. And that's no discredit to the Kings, but, if I'm staying up, I'm watching Nate. You know what I mean? That's
sure.
The Kings have good players, but, maybe I'll get yelled at for this, but maybe just not the sexiest in the NHL. Byfield I know is coming up. Doughty has always been.
Have you seen Adrian Kempe?
Yeah, he is. So he's the one guy I think everyone would say he's one of the more underrated guys in the league.
Absolutely.
Fiala. I think Fiala's nasty too.
Yeah.
Again though, that's just me as a biased East Coaster.
Sure.
That's who I'm staying up to watch.
Yeah.
But they looked really physical last year, and I don't know if they've been that in years prior, where they can beat the piss out of Connor and Leon and actually get to them. Is that something that they've added? Or is that just me not watching a lot of Kings hockey and noticing it last night?
Yeah, I think so. And I think one of the great upgrades that we've seen is, funny we're bringing up the Oilers, is Warren Fogle. I think Fogle
20 goals, right?
20 goals, career year, and he is just such a bulldog in the middle six for them. That is something that they didn't have against this team last year.
And we talked about Edmondson.
Yep.
Right? He's a big pickup. Was he here last year?
No. And Eddie has been such a good addition to the team. And I think the biggest thing, it's CP could be exactly what they needed.
This could be exactly what they needed.
The Doughty injury allowed Brant Clark to become what he is, and Brant Clark is one of the most exciting young defensemen in the NHL. You want to talk about Lane Hudson all you want. Yeah, he's amazing, no doubt about it. Clarkie he's a large body, he's a puck-moving defenseman, he has unbelievable vision, and he is big. He can rough it up in the corners with people. Mikey Anderson has been fucking nails all year. So all of a sudden, a lot of people were like, yeah, the Kings D is getting a little long on the tooth, but Doughty's back. He's fresh. Mikey and Brant are amazing. Eddie is a huge pickup. Gav is a monster. Hellenius has been great when he's been in. It's just, it looks like they've got, they have home ice right now. And I know that team is we fucking want that home ice. Obviously, the stats show it. But listen, I don't want to get too horny here, but I think the Kings can beat the Oilers in round one. I really do.
1-4 at home in the playoffs against the Oilers the last 2 years. So that's been a big issue.
Yeah.
Right? When you get into that series and you're we can't protect home ice at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this regular season record at home translates to the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
Because Connor steps up, you know what I mean? It's a whole different animal. But
I don't think Edmonton's intimidated by the LA crowd.
me neither.
Though,
I don't think they give a fuck. I
Yeah.
told Dan, Edmonton could not care less who are these games. If they're whatever, give us the Kings.
Yeah.
I'm begging for the Kings. So I still think they think that, but at least, sometimes you just need a little mental bump yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe they go, dude, we have barely beat them
Yeah.
at home in the fucking playoffs, and now we don't lose at home anymore. So maybe you get that jump.
By the way, Jeannot is another huge pickup
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
As far as
That's
that
a good point.
physicality.
Yeah.
Jeannot and Fogle is a nice,
Vogues has been fucking great.
Oh, he's been so great.
Holy
dude.
shit,
Unbelievable.
what a signing.
But I'll say it again. It is you guys are so right. The Oilers team doesn't give a shit where they're playing.
Yep.
The Kings team does.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a massive, massive boost for them. In that game, we also almost saw a goalie fight.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Sway's been asking for one. He said he was going to get one this year.
He has. let's quickly. I want to hear how you guys feel about how swiftly the refs came in and stopped that, because that blew up. You know, our boys DJ and Pete were talking about it. They were like, "This is bullshit. Let him go." Everyone has seemed to have that mentality. I might be the old man take here and just sort of explain why that doesn't happen. How did you guys feel about them stopping it?
I mean, I stood up, had my camera out, ready to go.
Same.
And I was like,
same.
Fuck. You know, but I think in that specific position, like with what Boston has been this year, I think people are looking for some sort of excitement. If they were able to drop them, everyone would have been like, at least there's some fucking fight left, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think everyone would have been like, all right, the Bruins aren't going down easy with how this year has gone for them.
Yeah.
That's obviously just like a deeper meaning to it. I think what would have been discussed on every sports show today would have been great. I think that's what everyone else is talking about, like the Four Nations fights and what that did to NHL fandom. Like, you couldn't say a goalie fight would do the same thing with where we are going into the playoffs right now. Like, that probably would have been talked about on Pat McAfee today and stuff like that. Yeah. And now it's being talked about in the opposite direction. It's like, oh, well, the refs are stupid for not letting them go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the opposite effect. So, I don't know. I think it would have been cool, but again, I'm not going to like sit here and say like goalies need to be allowed to fight to throw the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in that moment, it would have been cool, but like, I'm not looking for every goalie to drop the gloves.
Here's where my mind is. Entertainment factor through the roof. Yeah. Would have been incredible. Yeah. Everyone would have been talking about it. Here's where I get it. And I'm saying this is not necessarily confirmed. I think refs stop that because there has been a nudge for the refs from GMs, from coaches, from owners. Do not let the goalies fight because they are the goalies. Yeah, more often than not, it's that starting goalie in that. Here's a scenario. Bruins, they're missing playoffs. It is what it is. Let's say those two go and Darcy Kemper breaks his hand.
Yep.
Your season is now over.
Yeah.
That is where I'm like, yeah, like even if you're a Kings fan and you're like, that was so sick for a moment, and then you go, oh, now we can't win a single game in the playoffs. But no offense, Riddick, but you know what I'm saying? You cannot have your starting goalie break their fucking hand, or like, you know, you're wearing all those pads, you get twisted up and you go down and you fucking tear your ACL. I get it. I get being like, dude, if for a fleeting moment we had a great moment of entertainment because the goalies wanted to go and one of them broke their hand or gets a concussion and now your starting goalie's out, especially at this point in the season, disaster.
I just want to add one more thing before, because I feel like this might change where you're at.
Yeah.
Because I'm surprised that you went toward Kemper and not towards Swayman. Because I'm thinking now, like, we just gave you $8+ million.
Yeah.
Igor Sturkin, we're giving you $11.5 million. Yeah. You better not do anything to put yourself in danger.
Yep.
You need to be healthy at every cost.
For sure.
That's what that's where my mind went.
And the reason I omitted Sway is because if Sway,
like
obviously you'd never want him to get hurt for a long-term effect, but if Sway were to get shut down right now, they'd be like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
And like, so would he. He'd be like, fuck it, this fucking season sucks. We're done. But it's like, to me, if I were a member of the Kings and that moment happened, I feel like I would have stepped in front of Kemper and been like, don't you fucking dare. It's like that scene from Everybody Wants Him. McReynolds gets up to fight and they're like, yo, sit the fuck down.
Yep.
Like, I would have grabbed Kemper and been like, abso-fucking-lutely not, buddy. Like, we are trying to win a cup right now. You cannot get hurt.
Dude, that's exactly what I was going to say, because you could get hurt. And I was about to be like, dude, guys don't get hurt that much fighting. That's the misconception about fighting in hockey from non-big fans. They're like, oh, you got to protect their heads. And I'm like, dude, it's the hits that are concussing people. Like, no, people aren't really getting hurt. But
I'm sure a punch to the head doesn't help.
And also, I disagree, bro. I think guys get hurt, like small injuries in fights, way more than you think. I think fingers, hands get broken all the time in fights. And for a player,
some guys who are used to punching too. Those guys have no idea what they're doing.
And like their hands are way more important. Like, it's fucking that would be awful.
Yep. But my take was going to be,
sorry, did I destroy your take?
No, was going to be, you're aware of that. Like, if you're McReynolds, don't fight. If you're the starting fucking pitcher, don't fight. If you're Darcy Kemper and you're like, I can't get hurt, don't fight. Yeah. If you want to fight, by all fucking means, like, go protect yourself. Don't throw too much, whatever. And so I'm like, go, dude. I was up to him and he fucking went. And I thought it would have been epic if like Doughty or somebody came in and was like, dude, do not punch him.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, do it. I can't believe they jumped in that fast. Especially, I can't believe they jumped in that fast.
Well, I think like also like they built that up a little bit. Like, they didn't like necessarily go right at each other.
No.
There was a little theatrics to it.
Yeah.
You gave the refs some time to break it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, And maybe like that's, I don't know if you're gonna get this Zadorov's comment, but like maybe that's where it came in. Like they bought themselves some time, knowing that maybe the rest would jump in. It's like
great transition,
kind of being like a
Laz.
fake hero here, you know.
Let's talk about Zadorov's comments. He was asked in the locker room. I think the question was something like, "What did you think about Swayman standing up for Husnudinov?" And Zadorov was like, "Is that what it was?" No comment.
Yeah.
I hate, rage bait, clickbait, whatever you want. So I don't want to sit here and read too much into that comment. But I do believe that comment shows that vibes are pretty brutal in the Bruins locker room right now. Obviously, you lose to Vegas. What was it? 5-1.
3-1
You lose
to the
3-1 to the Sharks. Now you get piss pumped 7-2 by the Kings. Obviously, horrible West Coast road trip. No one's playing well, but dude, I don't know, man. That game was kind of crazy. Like they are lifeless. It is a lifeless team.
But C-Mac's here now.
Yeah.
Or Chucky.
Chucky.
Charlie did just show up, and that is big for them.
Yep.
For those
he even said that.
For those who don't know, Charlie
galvanized.
Yeah, Charlie McAvoy just popped into the studio, and he's here to galvanize the boys, and I love that. But that game was crazy, dude. Like I have not seen a Bruins team look that lifeless in a long time. Long time.
Also, just unrecognizable. Like,
how
many guys did I ask you? Like, who's number 23?
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They are. If you are not a deep Bruins fan, there's at least 5 guys on the roster that you're like, I have no fucking clue who that person is. And I think you can kind of feel it on the ice. Like they're learning to play together. There's a lot of guys. Like Lysel comes up. I think it's his 3rd game of the year, 4th game of the year. So it's just, it's weird vibes right now for sure. And I think it's getting to them. And you wonder too, with Sacco, more than likely is not going to be keeping that job. No. So he's another guy who's like, I got promoted into this shit show when you stupidly fired Jim Montgomery, and now I'm going to get fired as well. It's just, there are very few positive things going on with the Bruins. It's crazy.
Oh, they generate nothing. And they, like, even when they scored in, 10 seconds or whatever. Yeah. At no point was I like, oh, sick. Here's here to play. I was like, they're just going to lose 1,000-1.
Yeah. How awful was that? Take away the Kings' great at home record. That goal went in, and I was like, they're obviously losing this game. And that is a crazy feeling.
I did feel bad. Obviously, even when the Bees were in their heyday, that you get blown out every now and then. Yeah. But just after the botched goalie fight, and then the Kings just kept scoring.
It was the 5-0 goal.
Yeah.
The 3rd period 5-0 goal.
And then the crowd just like sway, like there's so much shit. And I was like, dude, this blows.
We'll say though, a lot of Bruins fans.
Oh, they show up big time.
There was a lot of Bruins fans.
Yes.
It'll
be like that tomorrow too.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Rangers fans tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you read in too much to that comment, or do you think it's just bad vibes, or do you think it's like, we got a locker?
I think I read too much into it. Like I'm serious. I'm like, dude, that is fucked. I'm reacting the same way I'm reacting to the Keefe thing. Or I'm like, you gotta fucking reel it in.
This guy
these are
bent out of shape about fucking hot mic moments.
Dude, you just can't do that. Like, even if you have an issue with him, go fucking talk to him. Which I don't even know why you would have an issue. But to be fair, to defend what I think he is saying, it was a bit of a showmanship. And you said before we were recording, well, if someone needed defending, there's 1,000 other fucking people that should be defending him before you do. Yeah. So, and like we said, Sway wants a goalie fight. So like maybe to Zadorov it felt like that, where he's like, oh, okay, now he's just doing his performance because we're getting killed. Yeah. Actually, it was like 3-2 then, wasn't it? Like,
no. This was, I think the game was out.
It was over.
It was absolutely out of hand.
So like,
it was actually before it was toward the end of the second period, because I remember they skated by each other when the period ended. And we were like, oh, are they gonna?
Yeah.
So whatever the score was, like after the second, it was 4-2 maybe.
So sure, maybe he's feeling some frustration of like that wasn't needed or whatever. But I'm kind of like, dude, who fucking cares? Like he's trying to. At bare minimum, there's some version of he's trying to pump the boys up and like get you going, whatever, defend his guy. So no matter what, I think that line is out of pocket. Even if he didn't mean it as the way I'm interpreting it, I'm still like, shut up, dude. Like that is you don't say that like snide comment without meaning to say that snide comment.
Well, that's what I want to say, because I feel like anytime you're asked a question about a teammate and your response is no comment, there's a problem.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
So you got to get some tact here, boys.
there's
Like you don't start lying to the media and just say you're fucking jerking each other off all the time.
Dude? Thought it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say anything else.
Yeah.
Literally.
Anything else? Like you could just don't say no comment and
now
then
leaves it to
ask,
speculation.
and then also ask a passive aggressive question like, is that what? Dude, no. I didn't like it at all. And I'm not talking shit about Zadorov. I like his fight, and I like that he is, oftentimes very straightforward. I think where it comes from is Zadorov is, he's frustrated. They're leaky as hell. And Sway's had, 2 of his worst games of the season. He's obviously not. He knows he's not playing well. And he makes those comments where he's like, "I'll go with anyone, dude. I'm trying to fire up the boys, and I'm trying to defend the boys." And I love that mentality from him. I do think that there's a general element here where everyone's like, dude, this is not what we need to be doing. Yeah. Like, we don't need Sway getting in a fight right now. We need us to, fucking get our shit together.
He's also a great talker. He knows how to answer the media. Like,
yes,
he knows what he's saying.
Yes, he is. So, gets a little sticky. My favorite time of the podcast is to talk to you guys about Bauer Hockey. I think it is the gold standard when it comes to hockey apparel, hockey equipment, anything that comes with hockey. Bauer is doing it the best. All of their stuff is so elite, I cannot begin to express it. I've been a Bauer guy since the first time I put on skates. I've had Bauer skates my entire life. I currently have them now. The shadows are unbelievable. But also, guys, the apparel. I can't say enough good things about the apparel. Since we've teamed up with Bauer, we're getting dapped up with all of these great workout shirts, these training tops, shorts, things like that. Unbelievable hoodies. They're so comfortable. They're just the best stuff in the game. It makes you feel like a pro athlete. It makes you look like a pro athlete. And it's what you need when you're working out, when you're lounging around, when you're headed to the rink. It's all perfect. And when we get into the equipment talk, when we talk about all this stuff, the buckets, the gloves, the pads, it's all amazing. And we know the twigs are as good as it gets. The Bauer Twitch, in particular, is revolutionizing the stick game. You want to have hands like Jack Eichel. You want to have a shot like David Pastrnak. The Bauer Twitch is going to get you to that next level. The kick point, the feel, how light it is, the release, it's all unbelievable because Bauer is constantly making sure that they take the next steps to revolutionize the game. Bauer is that beautiful star, that shining light in the hockey world, and they're going to help you get your game better every single day. So go to BauerHockey.com and make sure you get yourself set up like the pros, get yourself set up like the Empty Netters boys, and take your game to the next level.
Let me get into Pat Maroon.
Okay.
Had his comebacks last time in St. Louis. They did the big tribute video. He got really emotional with Panger retiring at the end of the year. I remember that, 19, 20, 21 when he won 3 cups in a row. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Pat Maroon has 3 cups. But it was cool to see. I mean, he's been great in the media too. He's been chicklets and by all accounts, I've never actually met him. Did you meet him ever? Have either of you met him?
He's on our show once a week.
No, he was talking to me.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. No, I have not.
So it's, by all accounts, a great dude. Just wanted you to get the floor a little bit, and we'll chime into just on thoughts on that career now that it's almost all said and done.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
I mean, listen, I think Pat is honestly, he's like such a sweetheart. Yeah, he really is. Like, I've gotten to know him a lot, like this year. Just like forming a friendship with him. And he's coming on our show tomorrow morning, actually.
Sick.
Talk about the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And listen, like he's a guy who all he wanted to do, I think, from what he's told me, is play one game in the NHL.
Yeah.
You know,
so dope.
and he's accomplished everything there is to accomplish, like in this sport. And I think a big part of why he's been successful too is the teammate that he is. But also, I think a big part of like being successful in the sport is like the teammate that you are and the guy that you are. And I think that's what goes a long way. But his career, you know, obviously winning 3 cups is like the thing that is what's going to stand out the most. But the amount of games he's played, north of 800 now, I think that's something that should be cherished as well. Like he's a guy who really had to earn it in the American League. I think his relationship in Philly, he went home and was like partying in college because he thought his career was over. Yeah. You know, I think he had a huge resurgence after his relationship with Philly like went into the trash. Yeah. And, you know, for him to, you know, like I said, 3-time champion, be north of 800 games, and to now have this like farewell tour, which you don't like really see in hockey a lot. Like
So
he played 1 year in St. Louis. Yeah. Like he's from there, which is what makes it cooler. But like to get the ovation he got, like, isn't a common thing.
Yes, dude. Correct.
And I think like people need to like understand like how much he means to that city, because like a typical guy like isn't gonna just like announce like Marc-Andre Fleury is one of the best goalies of all time. And he's getting a farewell tour. No offense, like Pat's not one of the best players of all time, but like probably one of the best guys that we've seen. So that goes a long way.
Yeah, he's definitely seemingly put himself in that conversation of every locker room loves it.
Yeah.
Like everyone is like, oh, yep, it was amazing when he was here. Like his quick little stint in Boston, felt random, but then everyone was like, oh, dude, having Maroon in the locker room was awesome. Yep. So a lot of people wanted to bring him back, so it makes sense that he's one of the guys that Chicago looked to bring in to help Bedard, kind of teach him some stuff about the league, show him the ropes. And yeah, and I remember when we were talking to John Scott, we were talking about like enforcers in the league, and Maroon gets brought up, and he was like, "He's not tough, dude." And that's, I think that's absolutely true, and it's interesting because I think a lot of people think of him in the same way as like a Reeves, but they're just not. They're very different players, and it's really cool to see a guy who has played almost 900 career games,
27 goal season, I think.
Yeah, wow, that's sick.
Like almost 900 career games. And it's almost like he's done it off vibes, like he's just, it goes to show being a guy who gets it, knows your role, is a great locker room presence, good for all the boys on the team, that can get you a long ass career. Yeah. Yep. So it's kind of cool to be able to give him a nice send off.
27 always done media too.
Yes. Right.
Always.
No, agree.
Always.
Yeah. No, you said it perfectly. All I was going to add was in his little speech with Panger, he was like, I played the game the right way. Yeah. And sometimes I think fans hear that and they're like, wait, what do you mean? But I'm like, that's what you mean. Yeah. He was here for the love of the game, and everybody that played with him can attest to that. Yeah. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is this really cool video that you got sent today. I had seen that is from Along the Ice Hockey. Shout out Along the Ice. Really sick about the Minnesota Wild shootout sequencing. And it's Zuccarello coming in, doing that kind of dead controller lefty shot. I'll either just beat you floor cheese stick side, or if you lose that push off foot, I'll go backhand. And then sending Boldy out right behind him to kind of attack the same thing. Yeah. It was against Blackwood on the Avs is the clip. And I just thought it was such a cool idea because we've heard Oshie say, I was setting up my moves the same way in the Russia shootout because I was trying to like make it a head game. And I was like, oh yeah, that only works though because it was IHF and you can go a million fucking times. Yeah. But I was like, actually, the NHL guys could just start doing this too with different players. And it's like, hey, come in, attack the same way. And I just thought that was kind of a really sick thing that I wouldn't be shocked if becomes really normal.
Yeah. I think these are moments where stuff like this happens and I'm like, this is just so next level.
Yeah.
Like, guys weren't doing this in Gretzky's day. You know what I mean? Like the fact that guys like Zook are studying goaltenders' tendencies, even knowing to do that, knowing that that's the thing about goaltending mechanics, and then the team being like, we're going to base our shootout, what we do on this plan. If you score, how you score, it's just like, this is awesome. It's just so cool how technical the game can get.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And no disrespect. As I was going to ask Dan, it was just going to sound like shade.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
You've probably gotten more breakaways than CP.
Yes.
What? You played D.
So do you.
No, well, now. I play D now.
Slow boots, dude. You got square wheels.
Play
That's
D now.
The
you have black laces. Have you once thought about like where the goalie is on your breakaway? I just know the move I'm gonna make.
Same,
dude. Anytime I've gotten behind the D,
sorry,
ricochet. Dude.
Well,
you acknowledge the ricochet
with no due respect.
Yeah, with none.
Yeah, with all due respect, which is none. Yeah. Anytime I've gotten behind the D, I think the first thing in my head is like, first of all, what's my situation? Yeah. Like if I'm in a clean breakaway. But yeah, it's the first thing I think is like, what moves do I have?
Even when you line up for a shootout, it's like, what move am I going to make? Not like, what is the goalie doing?
And I'd say this, Laz, it's only ever gets as far as how far out is he? Yeah. Like, that's it. I'm like, he's way far. I'm going to try to deke him. Or he's like, he's back in there. I'm going to shoot. It's never like, dude, has he lost his right push-off?
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's actually sick though. Yeah. Like we were just talking that like it moves really fast. But and I actually don't even. I'm kind of with Gretz on the penalty shot time clock where I'm like, all right, dude, like the fucking guys that are.
He said that.
Yeah, remember it was
the koozie crawl. Like he was like they should implement a clock.
He was like, it should be a 10-second. Shoot the fucking puck.
Maybe Koozie was ahead of everybody.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, now I actually am like, come in slow so you can process it a little bit cleaner on like the goalie mechanics, not just where he is, but actually like, does he have the ability to get side to side with the way his body's positioned? Because that's fascinating to me. But now I'm like, oh, dude, I can do that easily. And then I'm gonna go try it, and I'm like, it's not gonna work the way it works for Zook, but there's something there for sure.
Can you pull up if we can? I don't know why my like hockey brain went here, but I think like Brendan Shanahan in his shootout, and he was like the end of his career.
Yeah.
But his release was so wicked that like I think he used to kind of come in with the puck on his forehand like Zuccarello did, but he wouldn't make the move. He would just let it rip, and I wonder if like even he had that same thought.
Oh, I think definitely. We've seen a lot of people, you know, Pasta obviously does like kind of like that. He's done that like no look, just
that was crazy.
one. But we've seen a lot. DeBrusque is big on it, is like kind of like the change up, just like waiting to see for the goalie to commit and then just chipping it over their shoulder. I think it's becoming way more prevalent to almost.
Oh, wow.
We'll get nice job, Wags. Yeah. Fucking A. I think we're seeing it become way more prevalent in, to quote D3, the Mighty Ducks, make the first move. I think guys are being like, I'm going to see what the goalie does first.
Dude, but Shanny does this on a lot. I've pulled up a bunch of them too. He just comes in and just, right in the slot. And I think they're just maybe not ready because they're like, there's no way he's shooting already. Like,
well, when you do this freeze, right, when you get it onto your forehand, I think a goalie's like, is he trying to freeze me before a deke? And then he just shoots. And you're like, oh,
damn it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was like reading the goalie.
I know, same.
But I just remember him being like automatic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sick.
I mean, I remember that unbelievable mixtape of Ovi's first year, his rookie season. I feel like in the shootout, it was so deking was everything. Mm-hmm. And Ovi scored 5 or 6 of his early shootouts just coming in and just ripping top shelf. And people were like, what the fuck is going on?
So nasty. Laz, take us through the Canes wardrobe.
My God. I'm friends with the admin for the Canes social media. And I was like, never let them do this again. And she was like, you think I make these decisions? And I was like, I know you don't, but tell the person in charge. This is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like they had such a good thing with them. They were like the first ones, or was it San Jose that did the teal?
Maybe.
One of them, it was San Jose or Carolina that like did the home helmet with the road uniform.
Yeah.
And like those two teams look great with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why change it?
Black bucket.
To clarify, we're talking about the other night the Canes came out in their road whites with black buckets, and it is possibly the ugliest thing that has ever happened in the history of the NHL.
Did they win?
I think so. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It's embarrassing how ugly it is.
I will say too though, with the Canes social media, like they lost to LA 2 nights ago and scored 7-2, and the final score graphic just said Google it.
That's good.
Yeah. The game over. Google
that
it.
Is really good. That is really good.
Yeah. It's just it's horrendous. Yeah. It's just so ugly. I can't even get over it. And it brings me back to, I've brought this up because some people don't feel this way when the Avs were doing their black bucket.
Oh yeah.
And they've since changed to the blue. I'm like, how was that ever not going on? Like they look so much better in the blue. And I know some people who are still like, no, I like the black better. And I'm like, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, the blue.
You have no style. This is a war crime.
What's next? Black laces. Clowns.
What are the comments?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you do black helmets, you gotta go black pants.
Yeah.
I mean, helmets and pants should always be.
If they had black pants, it would be it's just as ugly.
Great comment. Interesting use of free will.
God, it's absolutely horrible.
So good.
All right, CP. Before we get into our nice beer league hotline and close everything out, you wanted to talk about Crosby.
Just the Crosby OV watch. Crosby 2 points away, and like you said, he could just shut it down and have it now. But 2 points away, and he automatically breaks the dude. That record is. So,
are you talking about the point per game?
Yeah. 20 Gretzky, 19 seasons, point per game, greatest in NHL history. Crosby's about to go 20 seasons, which will possibly. I mean, Connor will make a bid at it, obviously, but or did Connor miss one with one of those injury years?
Maybe
early.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
I think even with that, he still has
a
billion points.
That counts.
Yeah, it's just how many games you played that year, and I just think it's so sick. 2 points away from 20 fucking seasons over a point per game. Ridiculous. So he's obviously doing it. And then OV 7 away, 12 left. You still like it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've had the conversation a lot with, I guess just with people in general. Like, are you on the camp of, I hope he doesn't do it this year, so there can be a whole summer promotion of like growing it and building it up for like it to happen next year? I'm on the other side where it's like, let them ride this momentum into the playoffs.
In fact, if he doesn't get it and we do a whole summer promoting it, it's gonna feel so shit to me. I'm like, yeah, well, obviously he's gonna fucking break it next year. There's no
Nothing standing in the
momentum.
way.
There's no stakes here. It's just a matter of like, okay,
the ticking clock is so
when
shit.
is it gonna happen now? Like,
Biz said something. I love you, Biz, but I was like, no, dude.
He said
he was like, I hope it's next year.
yeah, and that's stupid. It's a bad take. Like, it's just and listen, if he doesn't do it, he doesn't do it, and he'll break it next year, and it'll be cool. But it will be 50 times cooler if he does it this season than next year. More. So it's got to happen for sure. All right, I'm so glad you're here for this.
What if he's like 1 goal away? He like scores the first goal of the playoffs. You know, like
yeah, right. God damn it!
It's
dude.
like this one.
Yeah.
It just doesn't count.
Just let it count.
God, it's so true. I'd be like, let's just fudge the numbers. Fudge the numbers. Fuck it. Oh man, that'd be unbelievable.
Later.
Yeah. Like imagine.
Oh no, I was just saying. I'm so glad you're here for this. Wags, take us into a beer league hotline.
I love these.
Me too. They're so good.
I just joined a new team, and after my first game, I saw something that truly shocked me. I walked into the shower and saw one of the guys trimming his balls with an electric razor. I asked one of the boys in the locker room what the deal was, and they said he trims his balls at the rink because, quote, I'd rather clog up the drain here than at home. They told me he doesn't do it every week. It's only about once a month. They've gotten used to it. Is this actually genius, or should I quit this team immediately?
Dude, talk about interesting use of free will. This is pure chaos. I wouldn't have. You don't need to find a new beer league team,
Okay.
and I don't necessarily think you need to chastise this man, but this is crazy. I wouldn't stop it. It wouldn't gross me out or anything, but this is a crazy move.
I would say it partially depends on the shower setup, because like the King's practice rink is like stalls, you know, and there's a curtain. No one really uses the curtain, but there is a curtain. Yeah. Some are just pillar open space, you know, and kind of how his presentation of the trim. Because there's a version, and
is he standing? And
he's like, "It's a nice game today, pal."
I always love. We talk about this all the time in the hockey locker room or in the showers. Are you letting the water hit your back or your chest? And the guys who go back and are just like swinging dick in front of you, I'm like, good for you, man. Like, if this guy is shaving.
Really?
You were never what?
I never showered after the beer league game.
But are you playing Chelsea's? Or like where do you play?
In the city?
Yeah.
I play Chelsea Pier, like roller
So, like,
hockey.
how do you get
there
home?
are like so when I did shower like at the rink, I know. I always felt gross after I showered at the rink that I'd shower when I got home anyway again.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I even showering at the rink in the first place?
I was just kind of like,
bro,
putting my clothes.
Yeah, putting on clothes.
Why would I just wash them?
Yo, no shit, Johnny.
Whoa.
No, actually, I just threw them back in the fucking drawer.
No, but I am the same. Like if I wear my hockey gloves and I touch a clothing item, like I will not wear that shirt again until it's washed.
Right.
But like at the same time, like my parents always did my laundry, and like it wasn't a concern
You're
of
such a
mine.
bitch.
But were you subwaying? That's what I was asking. Were you subwaying back from Chelsea Piers?
Yeah, so I'm like gross anyway.
But I'm like, you got on
It
the
doesn't
subway
just
after
get a
hockey.
rinse in, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just don't do it.
That is wild.
But it's not like in like Jackson Hole and like Vale, I didn't shower. Like,
of course.
Yeah,
still,
those places I shower.
This is still wild.
But when I know I'm going home after, I just don't shower.
Getting back to this guy,
I think the electric razor thing is the craziest part about this.
Okay.
but bringing it to a beer
Use
league,
straight razor.
who
Shaves their balls with an electric razor.
Do you mean literally like a Sweeney Todd straight razor, or by straight you mean just like a normal razor?
Like a normal razor. What's it?
I thought he meant Sweeney Todd.
I'm like,
what's a Sweeney Todd straight
a
razor?
straight razor is one that
like a
looks like a
switchblade.
switchblade.
Yeah.
It's like one blade, and I'm like,
is that what that is?
Yeah.
Like that's
crazy.
Sick, dude. Be careful.
That is crazy.
I was like, bro, you are out of control today.
I thought we call those the. I didn't know there was like a.
That's awesome.
No, a straight razor is a thing. You just mean like a normal
on
razor.
the neck.
Yeah.
On the neck.
I'm not like a normal razor.
Holy shit.
Happy we cleared that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't shave my balls with a straight razor.
Okay, so you're fine if your beer league teammate is shaving at the rink as long as it's just a regular razor.
I don't care about the shaving. I just think it's weird that anyone would use an electric over a regular. Shaving to me is fine. And the reasoning behind it's fine.
I agree.
Does he live with a woman? Like that's
The reasoning, I'm like,
Dude.
actually, you might be genius.
Yeah.
It is, like I said, I wouldn't kick this man out of the locker room, but this is crazy. It's a crazy move.
It's once a month.
I think anything kind of goes in like the locker room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wouldn't.
anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's fucking nuts. This is a nuts move. You guys are out of control for not acknowledging it's nuts. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a nuts move. It's nuts to be like this. I'm bringing my razor. I'm going to clean up the downstairs. It's a little gross. Like your fucking pube shrapnel's all over the shower now.
Would you rather shower someone who has like a gross huge bush?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think if someone had a bush on my team, I would be like,
I would stare directly at it.
I would definitely, I would acknowledge it.
Right?
I would acknowledge it for sure. I'd be like, this, your dick beard's out of control. But I wouldn't be like this. You got to shave that right now.
Here.
Yeah,
Go
in this
home
very
with
moment, dude. I'd be like, go home and shave that.
You can't
dude.
play again. You can't come back until that's gone.
It's a crazy move. Again, I'm not kicking the guy out of the locker room, but this is a crazy.
I actually love it, dude.
fucking
I actually
move.
love it, and I think everyone should do it. I
think-
might start doing it.
No, you don't. You guys are.
Your hotline caller, was it maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, that was like, by the way, it's me.
It's me. Yeah.
Like, imagine this.
This is this guy. Yeah.
I'm the same guy.
That's so good.
I loved the inclusion of like this. The guys are used to it, and I'm like, yeah, you would get used to it.
Yep.
Crazy move, kind of respect it, but yeah, that's a lot. That is an absolute
Incredible.
flex.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm in, dude.
Yeah,
Final
good.
answers, I'm in.
I mean, I like that he's keeping it tidy.
Yeah.
Good for you. Let's do a blind ranking together.
Oh, please. Yeah, this is awesome.
Here we go. All right, Wags, are you ready? I am. All right, Chris, what are we doing?
We are blind ranking guys with over 30, so 31 and up goals so far this season.
So is this we're ranking their quality this year, not overall?
Yeah, that sounds. Well, I guess that maybe is stupid because we'd just be like, who has more goals?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think
no,
it's
because
kinda
like I'm sure like there are guys who might have more goals that I'm like, no, I actually think they're having a better season.
Okay.
How many are there?
There's like 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's been like a lower scoring
yeah,
year,
I know, except
right?
for Leon.
Yeah.
Like Leon's going, and even that's like lower than what's he gonna finish with?
Like, I don't
50?
wanna-
That's a lot of goals, obviously, but
Yeah.
like
Is he not at 50 yet?
he
Oh, he's at
maybe-
49.
no, he's 49.
Yeah.
And now hurt, so it might, it won't be that high. 50 is a shitload, but we've just been seeing such
Only
crazy
50.
scoring.
We're
Guys
seeing a
are
bit of a dip
fucking
this
insane.
year, dude.
That's what we're
Like,
saying.
yeah.
So
Lewis,
so,
actually, you
so
guys met
this year
Lewis. He texted me like, "Is the NHL like? Is there lower scoring?
they're not shooting anymore. That's what it was. Remember earlier this
one's
season,
shooting.
they were like the shooting is way down because guys are waiting for the perfect shot. So just
I mean, we
getting
just
pumped on
watched the Kings beat the Bruins 7-2, and the final shots in the game were 23 and 12.
that. Yeah, like that's
Is that the count?
Yeah,
crazy.
awful.
Okay, so this season, we're doing this season.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
season.
Wags, hit us.
Reinhardt.
What a good year for him after last year too. I was like, you hope you didn't get signed the deal go down. I think he's been great. He's probably like
I love Reinhardt.
way up there.
I love Reinhardt.
Where is he on the list? I can't remember.
In the goal scoring list, I
Yeah.
think he's like 10.
Okay, he's not quite as high as I thought.
I'm gonna say 4 here.
I was thinking 3. Because to me, like he's an elite goal scorer.
That's what I'm saying. And per his standards, that's why I'm going 4, because I'm like, he's going to
want
finish the
more.
season with like 38, maybe less. And I'm like, per his standards.
Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking
Did he-
4.
How many did he have last year?
57?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: so like I have a feeling like Scheifele's on this list. Who's a better goal scorer, Scheifele or Reinhardt? I still think Reinhardt is the better.
I
goal
think
scorer.
Reinhardt's the better goal scorer, but I would put Mark Scheifele's year better than
shooting
I
percentage.
like Scheifele's game this year.
So we're doing
more than
this
Rein-
year?
Yeah, we're doing this year. So I think 4. Don't let me bully you.
Okay, I'll go 4 I'll go 4 because of his standard, not
Yeah.
because we're literally just saying he has less goals than people.
No.
have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I get what we're doing.
Like I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Just who has the
so
most
he's
goals.
below his standard.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're going
this season.
Yeah, like
This season.
we're ranking goal scorers with over 30 goals on their season this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reinhardt,
Got it.
I'm like
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
Nylander.
Above Sam because he's having a great year.
He had 40 last year too. No,
Yeah. I think so.
is he at 40 yet?
No.
38.
Oh, that's better than I thought, though. Even okay. Then I actually might go because he's going to finish. Was 40 his career high?
Last year might have been his. Career
I think
high.
it was.
I think it was.
So like, I actually now think he's about to break his career high in everything.
I love
I'm
Willie's,
not comfortable putting him 1 though.
I love Willie's game this year. I like a 2.
Okay.
I think
too.
I think Willie's been fantastic. I mean he's like second in the league in goals.
Yeah.
And I think Willie's just been awesome. I think he has emerged as he is the best player on that team this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
So
I
two.
think
Tar is his
2 is
second.
fine with me.
Yeah, let's go
So we
2.
have 2 and 4 locked
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Hagel.
Great.
3.
But can't go 1. But we could.
We could go
Can't
one.
go one. Can't go one.
But he's having such a
could
good
go
year,
one,
dude.
I know, but this is like, I guess, by standard versus year, it's like a career year.
Like he's
for
having
him,
such
I
a
guess.
good season.
But he's not a better goal scorer than Nylander or Reinhart.
Yeah, so you want to go 5.
I was thinking 5.
No way.
If
Hagel
I
has
hear-
been so
if
nails
you
this
give me
year.
a breakaway between Reinhart, Hagel, and Nylander,
Yep.
I'm putting like Nylander first, Reinhardt second. Hagel
Yeah,
first.
no,
Third,
that's
square
not.
goal.
And there's
I'm thinking like goal scorer.
There's people having also good, better than standard years who are better goal scorers than Hagel. So I'm actually kind of back on your side now. I went from 1 to 5 in like 12
we're
seconds.
not ranking their goal scoring ability. We're ranking the players.
But that's like part of
But
it.
that's part of it. It's part of it.
I mean, I've been outvoted here. But I want it on record.
You want 1?
No, I want 3. I thought you guys just said 5.
We did.
He said 1.
I said 1. I went from 1 to 5.
Yeah, you're out of your mind, dude. I want 3, but if listen, this is a democracy. If you guys want to go 5, you can outvote me. But I'm on record saying, Hags, I'm putting you 3.
What do you think?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
5.
I just got cucked.
Yeah.
I got cucked on my own show.
Draisaitl.
1. Easy.
Has to be
Absolutely
1.
one.
Yeah,
Has to be
absolutely
1.
one.
Has to be 1. Okay, so only 3 is left?
Yeah.
Yes, only 3 remains,
Okay.
and I actually feel like this is going to go well for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Ovechkin.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, this year.
It's great. It's great.
There's a case for him.
Willie over Ovechkin.
Willie over Ovechkin is a take, but Willie's having a career. Willie's about to go career high.
But God,
But Ovechkin's about to become the best goal scorer ever to play the game.
yeah, and he also is dude,
Behind
with
Willie.
with a broken leg, he's still top 5 in the NHL in goals this year.
Well, imagine putting Ovi at 5 because he would have landed at 5.
Yeah, that would have been good. Good job, guys.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Quick pause so we can chat about Southern Comfort, the one-of-a-kind, ready-for-anything spirit that is the perfect blend of fruit and spices, and I love it. And I've been telling you guys about some incredible mixers I've been cooking up. I was on Diet Dr. Pepper. I was on Vanilla Dr. Pepper from AMC Movie Theaters. Dan's been on some orange soda. Then we got lemonade. But the key is there's comfort zones for all of us, and you got to find yours. So I want you to keep sending me in some amazing Southern Comfort cocktails. Here's the favorite one I got in the DM. Mountain Dew. Now, I'm a Diet Mountain Dew guy because I'm trying to get off the sugar, but either one, Mountain Dew. My favorite part about the DM, the person said, is this new cocktail called Mountain Comfort or Southern Dew? And that is a tough question because they both sound phenomenal. Not as phenomenal as it tastes, which is insanely good. But wow, what a cocktail name. I want to go Mountain Comfort, I think, just because it makes me feel like I'm an outdoorsy guy. I'm sitting on the back deck of my ranch, got my fresh Mountain Comfort in my hand, feeling on top of the world. But Southern Dew, now I'm at a minor league baseball game, sitting with the sun on my face. I don't know. They're both fantastic. Either way, I want you to find your comfort zone the way I've been finding mine. Keep sending in those amazing Southern Comfort cocktails, and soon we will crack the greatest one of all time. Okay, Wags, we're doing, Dan, last week we made it harder and it got easier.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that again. Wags is going to give us 5 things that could happen in the league this year and 5 out-of-order odds, and we are going to match them. Thanks to our friends at BetMGM. Wags, hit us.
Helly to win the Hart. Nate to win the Hart. Mac to win the Calder. Lane to win the Calder. Werenski to win the Norris.
Ooh.
And then for odds, we have plus 250, minus 130, minus 110, plus 325, and minus 210.
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay. We
Minus-
can do this. We
Minus
can get
130
this
to me is Nate to win the Hart.
one. That's the biggest
That's the
favorite.
minus 130,
You think
I
it's
think.
Nate to
Well,
win the Hart?
the minus 210 is the biggest favorite here.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you think Nate has what of these things do you think is most likely to happen?
Nate,
Because I think
maybe Werenski win. No.
no.
I mean, it's not Hellbuck to win the Hart.
No.
So-
I think Helly to win the Hart is probably
probably-
going to be plus 250
Yeah, I
or
agree.
plus
Plus
325.
I agree with that.
In fact, let's do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Helly to win Hart is going to be plus 325.
Okay.
I think. Damn, this is
yeah.
interesting. Something being
There's
minus
another
210.
plus, right?
Yeah.
Plus
So we've
250.
got plus 250.
So what else is unlikely?
It was.
I think
unlikely?
it's Norris. I think it's
think he's plus
Werenski
250?
Norris. I would go plus 250 on
'Cause
Werenski
it's
Norris.
Kale.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and like Quinn is
even
also
coming.
insane.
But if I guess the Blue Jackets fell off a little
I
bit.
like that. I like that.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
okay
yeah,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So now what
Wait,
is
wait.
I actually think you're right. I love. So we've got
minus 130?
We've got minus 210. We've got minus 130 and minus 110. I think minus 130 and minus 110 is so perfectly Macklin and Lane. Like they're very close.
So what's the minus 210?
I think it's Nate Hart.
Oh, you think Nate's minus 210?
Yeah.
Okay, Nate minus 210, and then I would say Lane
over
is
Macklin
minus
right now?
130.
I think Lane is more likely to win right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And
So
then
yeah,
Mac
is
minus
110. All right, Wags, we're gonna go. Helly to win Hart is plus 325. Nate to win Hart is minus 210. Mac to win Calder is minus 110. Lane to win Calder is minus 130. Zarensky to win Norris is plus 250. Tell us we clean sweeped.
None of them are right.
Fuck!
None of them are right?
None. Oh my god, dude!
I felt so confident about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, we absolutely nailed this. Okay, my knee jerk is to swap Rorensky and Helly.
Okay.
So Helly is plus 250 and Rorensky is 320 plus 325.
Okay.
Or was it 325?
So then, do you think Lane is all the way up to minus 210? Like, could
Maybe.
Lane to win Calder be minus?
Who would be in the
210?
running for MVP with Nate right now?
Leon.
True. Sorry.
You fucking idiot.
Sorry.
Okay, Lane minus
My
210.
initial thought was Nate minus 130.
Okay, yeah, you did say that early. So let's do that. But that doesn't make sense now because we need to do Mac not 110. So maybe it's a Mac 210 and Lane 110.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
suppose.
All right. We're going to go Helly Hart plus 250, Nate Hart minus 130, Mac Calder minus 210, Lane Calder minus 110, Wierenski Norris plus 325.
You got 2 right.
Which ones?
You got Lane and Wierenski right.
Fuck.
Okay.
I really want to be right.
Damn, dude. So there's something. All right, we got.
So Lane was minus 210? That was what we
No, Lane was minus 110.
Oh, minus 110.
110, which means, guys, the second biggest long shot at plus 250 is going to have to be Nate or Mac. That is kind of crazy.
No way.
It'd be Nate.
So that means they have Hellebuck Hart at minus 130 or minus 210.
Really?
That is crazy.
Dude.
What? How is that possible?
That is crazy, bro.
So
Nate,
we tried Nate at minus 210 and minus 130.
yes,
Right?
yes.
We already tried that. So
Yeah.
that means he has to be 250?
No,
Nate,
he could be
you're saying?
minus 210. Or do we do minus 210 for him? Is that what you
I
just said?
thought we did.
I think we did. We did. So,
So
Nate,
I think Nate has to be plus 250.
How is that possible? He's 100 and he leads the league in points. That can't be right.
so Nate is plus 250, and that means that we have, what do we have left? Minus 210 and minus 130.
Yeah, so it would have to be Mac.
I'm gonna say, damn, and we just did minus 210 for Mac. So
So Mac has to be 130. Mac has to be minus 130.
yeah,
And
Hellebuck
has to
Hart
be
is
minus
210.
210.
What?
Is
You
that
got 'em
right?
all right. Yep.
What?
Holy shit, dude!
I'm putting money on Nate to win Hart right now.
Me too.
Plus 250, dude. But
That's
he won last
insane.
year. They're not going to give it to him.
Yeah, they absolutely could. Hellebuck to win the Hart at minus 210 is
When's the last time a
nasty
goalie's
work.
won the Hart?
Carey Price.
Carey-
So 2015
Yeah,
probably
I
or
think so.
14?
That is wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Huge episode, Johnny. Thank you so much for being here.
Love you guys.
We're going to do a nice Blade tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, guys, pay attention to the story because we're going to be ripping. But unbelievable stuff today. A lot of stuff to keep our eyes on. Wild card race remains hot in the streets. We'll keep you guys updated with everything. We'll see you later this week. Make sure to check us out on the page. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure to check out Morning Cup Hockey.
Oh, thank you.
What days do those
Yeah,
drop?
tell us.
Monday to Thursday, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern on the Daily Faceoff YouTube channel.
There you go. And until we see you next time, remember, as always, to
Blade hard
whoa.
and skate hard.